Hello and greetings to everyone. Today we are going to treat the proportions as for proportions. When we talk of a proportion is simply a comparison of two quantities of different kind. For example, the more books Mary puts in her bag, the heavier the bag becomes. You can see the number of books and the weight of the bag. They are two quantities of different kind. Let's take this down. Proportion is a way of comparing two quantities of different kind. For example, the more books Mary puts in her bag, the heavier the bag becomes. In this case, you see that the number of books and the weight of the bag are two different quantities being compared. We take a hyphen by the margin. In a proportion, if one quantity increases as the other quantity increases, that means the two quantities are increasing, then the proportion is said to be a direct proportion. I will underline direct proportion with a red pen. It is very important. This is a type of proportion where the two quantities being compared, they increase. E.g., the higher speed is an example of a direct proportion. The higher the speed of a car, the more distance the car covers. You can see the speed is increasing, the distance covered by the car is also increasing. This is an example of a direct proportion. We take the next hyphen. In a proportion, if one quantity decreases as the other quantity decreases, or if one quantity decreases as the other quantity increases, then the proportion is said to be an indirect proportion. That means as one quantity is increasing, the other quantity is decreasing, or as one quantity is decreasing, the other quantity is increasing. E.g., example of an indirect proportion: the more distance a car covers, the smaller the volume of fuel in its tank. You see, the more distance a car covers, the smaller the quantity of fuel in the car's tank. You see, it is an indirect proportion. Distance covered increases while the volume or quantity of fuel in the car decreases. Take some examples. See how to handle questions involving proportions. The first one: a car covers 60 kilometers in 6 hours. How far does it travel in question E, 1 hour, question B, 3 hours, question C, 5 hours. Take solution. Okay, from the given question, we have been told that a car covers 60 kilometers in 6 hours. We're going to present it as such in 6 hours. We're going to make use of this horizontal line, which stands for the car covers. In 6 hours, the car covers 60 kilometers. For question E, we have to find the number of kilometers the car covers in 1 hour. For this question, it is a direct proportion, because as time is increasing, the distance covered by the car is also increasing. For us to get the distance covered by the car in 1 hour, we are simply going to divide both sides by 6. We know 6 divided by 6 will give us 1. That's the reason why we are dividing the left hand side by 6 and the right hand side by 6. Dividing by 6, this will give us 6 hours divided by 6. It goes with 60 kilometers divided by 6. 6 divided by 6 gives us 1 hour. The car covers 60 divided by 6 gives us 10 kilometers. This is the answer for E. You can see in 6 hours, the car covers 60 kilometers. Therefore, in 1 hour, the number of kilometers covered by the car will be smaller. That's the reason why we are dividing both sides here by 6. We go now to question B. It says we should find the number of kilometers, so the distance, how far the car goes in 3 hours. 1 hour, the car covers 10 kilometers. In 3 hours, the distance covered by the car will be more. Multiplying 1 by 3, 1 hour by 3 gives us 3 hours. We're going to multiply the left hand side by 3 and the right hand side by 3. 3 times 1 hour, the car will cover 3 times 10 kilometers. 3 times 1 hour gives us 3 hours. 3 hours, the car will cover 3 times 10, which is 30 kilometers. We go on to question C. We have to find the number of kilometers, so the distance covered by the car in 5 hours. We are going to multiply both sides of this proportion by 5. Since in 5 hours the car will cover more distance, we are going to take 5 times 1 hour. The car covers 5 times 10 kilometers. 5 times 1 hour gives us 5 hours. In 5 hours, the car covers 5 times 10, which is 50 kilometers. This is the distance covered by the car in 5 hours. We go now to question 2. Question 2 says 5 men built a house in 10 days. How long will it take? Question A, 1 man. Question B, 10 men. Question C, 25 men to build the same house, given that all the men work at the same rate. This statement, given that all the men work at the same rate, is very, very important. It simply means all the men, they work equally. There's nobody who is working more than the other. But when others are working, there's nobody who is sitting and looking at them. Now, if you look at this question, you see that this is an example of an indirect proportion. You see, the more men, the lesser the time they use in building the house, while the fewer the men, the more time they use in building the house. Take solution. On the question, we have been told that 5 men will use 10 days to build a house. In this case, this our horizontal line stands for the use. 5 men will use 10 days. Now we need to find the number of days one man will use in building that same house. For one man to build that same house, the one man will do the work done by 5 men, and one man will use more days in building that house. In this case, for us to get the number of days used by one man, we are going to multiply the number of days used by the 5 men by the number 5. This will give us one man will use, since the one man will do the work for 5 men, we are going to take 5 times the number of days used by the 5 men, which is simply equal to 50 days. One man will build a house in 50 days. Question B is asking us to find the number of days used by 10 men. When we increase the number of workers, the number of days used in building the house will reduce. For us to get the number of days used by 10 men, we are simply going to divide the number of days used by one man by the number 10. 50 days divided by 10, and this will simply be equal to 5 days. We go to question C. It's asking us to find the number of days used by 25 men. 25 men will simply use 50 divided by 25 days, which is simply equal to 2 days. You see that the larger the number of workers, the smaller the number of days they will use in building a house. Now let's take the exercises for application on this. Exercises for application. Question 1 says 5 cartons of beer cost 27,000 francs CFA. Find the cost of 7 cartons of beer. Question 2 says a woman earns 140,000 francs CFA for 10 days of work. How much does she earn after 17 days of work? Question 3. A sheep has enough food to feed 1,600 passengers for 3 weeks. How long would the same food last for 800 passengers? Question 4 says find the cost of 2 kilometers of pipe that costs $800 for 40 meters. These are the exercises for application on proportions. In our next video, we are going to correct the following exercises for application. If in case you have any worries, you do well to leave your questions at the comment section. Please, if you like the video, share and subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much for watching.